ostatni, ten najlepszy przecież oficjalnie na spotkaniu. Zmień na kalendarz. Będzie do podpisania. To jest na początku.
Są euro.
To nie euro.
No może są te euro. To jest lepszy.
Możemy coś zrobić problem.
Dzień,
Tu też jest. I prowadzimy po angielsku. W pierwszym przynajmniej. Okay, so it's already past time, so let's start. Welcome everybody, I'm Professor Doktorskiej and I'm the director of the first doctoral school of the Medical University of Gdańsk. And I have the pleasure to open with the rector-elect and vice-rector for science to open our first open days of the first doctoral school. So it's my great pleasure to welcome everybody here, and also whoever is listening to us online or watching us online. And I give the floor to Professor Doktorskiej, our doctoral, who will open the whole story.
Thank you very much, Professor Doktorskiej, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here during the first open days of the first medical doctoral school of Medical University of Gdańsk. It's a historic moment, and the doctoral school exists since 5 years already. So it's not very. Still young, but not a newborn institution. But the open days are this very nice initiatives which should help us to promote research, study at Medical University of Gdańsk. Me personally, I'm very keen to be here also because of PhD students and generally aspect of doctorates. Mostly because I was a PhD student and I was studying at pharmaceutical faculty for 5 years, and it helps me to start the so-called career, however, to make another steps in research and science. And another aspect which is very important besides the science is the social aspects. You can, PhD students can build relations between different disciplines, between different competencies, and between different cultures. We are very proud, I'm talking about it in the name of the authorities of Medical University of Gdańsk. We are very proud that our school is taught in English, and it's not a case that it's not a it's not very popular. I mean, it's not usual case that it is taught in English in Poland. We have few PhD students from abroad, and some of them also speak Polish. But we believe that English as an international scientific language should be promoted and enhanced at our university to build research and science. So thank you all the directors, I mean Professor Witkowski and his vice directors, thanks to all the teachers and of course administration of the Miss Iga Leszczyńska and other ladies. I'm sorry, I will not mention names. For your support to existence of the school, of all this what is done to make it working as smooth as possible. I know that we have problems. We have problems with number of students. I mean recruitment places, seats, and up to now we could not extend it. However, I believe that in next years we will be able to slowly increase the number of new of places in our doctoral school. It's difficult to say how much we will do it. It depends from our financial status, but definitely to promote research and build a science at our university, we must invest in PhD students and in PhD school. So you are a very important part, I would like to say, even heart, if we can say that we university possess more than one heart. You are one of the more than one heart at university, at medical university. I mean PhD students and PhD school. Because without PhD students, without PhD school, progress in science will go slower and will not be, it will be more difficult. So we will try to invest in other sources of money to promote research and science at Medical University of Gdańsk. Up to now we are successful in NAVA program, National Agency for International Exchange, and I will insist on taking part in any competition, in any source of money which will be available from our government, from state, or also from European Union resources. So we will do what we can to promote PhD school and to enhance your possibility to make research. And on the end, I would like to wish all the students who are here on site or online present, but also to new candidates, because as I understand, the open days are also for those who are thinking about future and who are not sure what to do in near future. I would like to assure you that you are and you will be very important part of our community, and we will do whatever is possible to promote, make PhD courses, PhD school, and PhD students in the research. So don't forget about life outside the university. I know it is rather impossible to forget about it, but I just want to emphasize that PhD school and PhD studies is not only research and science, it's also building relations. I wish you all successes. Once more, big thank you to the Director Professor Witkowski, to administration, to our researchers, to our staff who support the school and work hard to make it successful. And thank you very much, and wish you all successes for next, not only 1 year, but next few years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This was a very nice introduction, and welcome to all of you who gathered here. I see some PhD students here who already know us. Is there anybody who is not yet a PhD student? 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic, that's great. Because that means that you are at least somewhat interested what the PhD school is, what you can learn from it, etc. That's something that I'm very, very happy to. Now, and I also hope that over there, behind the camera, there are also people who are not yet PhDs or PhD students, and they are interested, simply interested. What the professor said, PhD students, people who are doing experiments, research towards obtaining the degree, they are the core. Some of you who are already PhD students, you know that you are the core. You make the research and you convey it to your supervisors, and with them you make your scientific papers, with them you make your doctorate, your thesis, etc. All right, I'm now supposed to say a little bit about the school in a moment, but before that, Professor Matuszewski already introduced a little bit people who are the core of this school. Apart from the director, whom I'm the, let's say, the chief, the director of the school, it would never work without the office. And those of you who are our students already know that without the office, it would not work. So I would like to introduce to you the three ladies who are forming the office of our school. This is Iga Leszczyńska, the head of this office. Without whom it would not work at all. Ms. Ola Roman, for very, very important task, which is our interaction with the NAVA that Professor Matuszewski mentioned. Yes. And Ms. Lidia Niszcze. Yes, indeed, those of you who are the PhD students, you already know that without them it would not work at all. All right, our school, as the professor did say a moment ago, yes, we started according to the law, as all other first schools, doctoral schools throughout Poland. It started in 2019 from lots of work because we needed to create something that was never before. So it was really lots of work, both administrative, both regulations, etc., etc., and then recruiting first doctoral students to pull them in, to make them believe that doing their PhDs under the new umbrella of what is called the PhD school, they may benefit of it. So that was very, very important, and that was a task that took us, and I believe Mrs. Iga Leszczyńska knows best because she was here from the very beginning, so she knows how many, not hours, but days and weeks and months it took to make it, let's say, as we call it, operational. And I would say that we still did not finish yet because also of our governments changing the laws consecutively, including the law concerning the higher education. So we had to adjust, and we have to adjust. Hence, we hope that at some point everything will be set and will start moving smoothly in the rails, without any further obstacles. Okay, so as I said, we started so many years ago. Now we have about 140 PhD students, which is okay with the universities like ours, like medical university, which is limited in the disciplines. 100 plus is, let's say, just enough. For big universities, the real, let's say, universities, there are some medical schools where there are 300, 400, even 800 PhD students. But they have, say, 15 different disciplines or so, so they might. We don't. And yes, we are now having the school taking 3 disciplines: medicine, pharmacy, and health sciences. And the PhD students can decide in which of the disciplines they want to follow their studies, whom to choose as the supervisor, and then, as we call it, promoter, who will lead them and help them toward the goal of obtaining their degree. Now, we already have not too many, we would love to have more, but we already have a few people who completed the education because in the PhD school, because according to their law, when the PhD students produces their thesis, their dissertation, and presents it to the preferred discipline council, this PhD student ceases to be the student of the PhD school. That's the law, for whatever reason. Possibly it is reason. So yes, we already have some who are boasting their doctoral degree. We hope for more. Of course, as you all know, there were dark years of pandemics where especially any projects that involve studies with human beings, patients, or even healthy human beings, they had to be postponed because of the pandemic. The contact, as you may remember, was limited. Personal contact was limited. Patients were protected because they were patients. So yes, all this delayed. But now the school, the research is regaining momentum, and I believe it will go smoothly from now on. What else? Some practical things. If any of you are not yet PhD student decides to become one and choose our medical PhD school for the place of doing your doctoral research, according to the law, you will get your stipend. It is already written. It is not much, as you can guess, because salaries in science are as they are, but still it is somewhat, according to the law, associated with the remuneration of a professor. So it's some percentage of the professorial salary. And this is for the first 2 years. It's about, correct me if I'm wrong, about 3,000 brutto, yes, something like that. It's not much, as you can guess, but we may protest to the sky, but no avail so far. And then, after 2 years, every PhD student of the school is assessed by an independent committee. What is assessed? How the PhD student performed over these 2 years with realization, making all the points that were written in their, how should I translate it to English, actually?
Individual research plan.
Individual?
Research plan.
Individual research plan. Thank you very much. Okay. So yes, near the beginning of your involvement in research, you, with the help, of course, of the supervisor, are supposed to make the individual research plan, to present it to the school council for acceptance, and then you are supposed to realize it according to the schedule that you envisaged for yourself. And the interim assessment after 2 years of your education as a PhD student is being performed. And this is serious because either you are successful and you are by this committee allowed to go on for the next 2 years until you obtain your degree, or if you fail utterly, which means that you stop being the PhD student of this school. This is again the law, so it is kind of a whip over the PhD students. So far, I can assure you, we did not have anybody yet who utterly failed. So, you guys, this shall have one person over 140, so, less because this years did not go through it yet, but still, it's not much, not too many. And I hope it will stay like that. What else? What other interesting things we could mention here? Yes, we are striving for the school to be international. We are hopefully, I don't know if anybody will be able to see if somebody from abroad is watching me and us now. I hope so, and I hope that they will possibly apply to become the PhD students at our medical school. What else? Questions are delegated to the end of the meeting, I believe, so it's not the time for questions. What did I miss? Did I miss anything? No. All right then. So I believe that we are clearly before the time, so we can continue. I think I said all what I wanted to say at the moment, and the program now asks for experiences of current NUG doctoral students, a discussion panel. And the moderator will be Dagmara Kroll, who is with us here, and who is the head of the, you call it now the
Doctoral Student Council.
Doctoral Student Council, yes, which is the collective body of representing all of the doctoral students of the school, and not only of the school, and closely collaborating with of course, the directors and the office of the school. It's yours.
No, I think it would be better to speak freely with our guests.
Okay, so I will sit.
Okay, so I would like to invite two fellow PhD students who joined us today to tell a little bit more about their experiences. So I would like to invite Margot Bizemas to join us here today. Hello. Hi. And I would like to invite Michał Westram, who is also our PhD student from the first year. And we are going to answer a few questions regarding doctoral school and our experiences with PhD so far, because we represent variety of years of PhD here and different disciplines. However, for the start, I would like to say that I'm very sorry that there is one more person who was supposed to join us today. One person who was supposed to represent medical sciences. However, I think we will get back to this later. The usual day of PhD student at medical university is not very usual, so each day is very different. And it is the same for today for Magda Antoszewska, who was going to join us today, who was willing to join us today. However, she has some clinical responsibilities and she has some procedure to perform, so just a few minutes ago she told me that she cannot make it, unfortunately, today. So we do not have a representative for medical sciences. However, I think that we will be quite sufficient representatives of the PhD students in general. So I would like to ask, I will be partly host and partly participant of today's discussion. And I would like to ask first maybe Margot to present yourself and to tell about us a little bit more about your background. Like how did you come here from? Where did you come from? And yeah, what sciences do you represent? Please tell us.
Hello everybody, thank you very much for the invitation here at the open days of the first doctoral school. I am a third year PhD student at the Department of Biopharmaceutics and Pharmacokinetics. And my name is Margot, so as you can hear it's not a Polish name. I'm not from Poland originally. I finished my studies in Belgium. I studied pharmacy and ended my master at the beginning of the pandemic. This was a very beautiful but also scary time for me. I came to Poland on Erasmus to write my master thesis at the laboratory of our rector-elect, Professor Markuszewski. And I had a really great time during my Erasmus, writing my master thesis, doing research in our lab, and creating relationships with my colleagues at work. And then the pandemic happened, I had to be repatriated, and I still had this missing feeling for, going back to the lab in Gdańsk, and I wanted to meet everybody again. So I decided that yes, I want to do the PhD. I didn't know yet where I would do it. And I decided that I will come back to work again in our lab. Most of all because I have, I knew the people, I know how the lab works. I've seen the lab protocols and the methods and standards of working, and I was really satisfied with them. So that's really convinced me that GUMETS will be the right choice for me. So yes.
Okay, so now we have to ask something of yourself.
Okay, I will try to improve my English now. Yes, I'm Michał Bystrom from Gdańsk, from Poland. I in the discipline of health science, and I spent a public health master degree, and now doing a second master of clinical trials. So I want to put some clinical trials maybe a bit in my research, and I'm from the study in the division of general endocrine and transplant surgery. So quite a different way than the public health, but it's a good opportunity to combine these two fields. And that's because the clinics focus only for the clinical aspects, and I'm more focused on soft organizational. So that can combine that we can combine to just a bit maybe optimization of the system and our healthcare system. We'll see.
Yes, so as you may hear, we have quite various perspectives. So we have a PhD student from abroad, and we have Michał, who is at the same time a PhD student and first year student again for the second master. And my name is Dagmara Kroll, and I am a representative of pharmaceutical sciences. I'm in my 4th year, so I should be shortly graduating. So we will see about that, but I will do my best. And I graduated from pharmacy at our university, Medical University of Gdańsk. And after I graduated, you may or may not know that pharmacy in Poland has to be finished with a 6-month internship in an open pharmacy or partly in a hospital pharmacy. And during my studies, I tried to use as many internships as I could. I tried to have an internship in an industry, in pharma. I had a short internship in hospital pharmacy, which I really enjoyed, and I did what I could do to divide my obligatory internship, the 6-month internship, to spend 3 months in hospital pharmacy and 3 months in open pharmacy. And even though I really enjoyed hospital pharmacy and I had this sense of mission, preparing some variety of different drug forms, it was a lot more satisfactory for me than an open pharmacy, but I still had this feeling of something missing. So I decided to try to do a PhD and see how I would find myself in research. And so far, I think it's the best choice. So I'm pursuing it further. Yeah, so we already told you about ourselves, and now I would like to ask you a little bit more about how did you decide that you want to do your PhD? And Margot already told us a little bit, but could you please say a little bit more?
Yes, of course. So I always had this idea that I loved working in the lab, and that's why when I finished my pharmacy studies, I chose for the master in drug development. So I didn't finish my master in pharmacy, like for the officina, I don't know. I studied to work in the lab actually. This happened really early on, like in the first few years of my bachelor. I already knew that lab work is more my thing. And then after, during my master, I had to decide where I will write my master thesis and such things. And I started looking into the Erasmus opportunities because I wanted to do something preferably linked to metabolomics or like design of experiments, something like that. And by looking up the publications of the departments that were linked to the Erasmus universities of my home university, I could make a decision like which department would be the best suitable one for me. So yeah, then I was there here at Gumet for 1.5 months, not such a long time, but it was really the confirmation for me that this is a good decision. I want to come back here, and yeah, I was very convinced.
1.5 months might be not too long, but it is enough to see how the team works,
Yes,
and how the lab works, and each lab is different for sure.
And also, yes, like you say, to feel out the interpersonal relationships, how people are, and it was very crucial for my decision.
Yeah, it is very important for the PhD, for overall PhD and working on PhD, the dynamics in the team, and if the team feels good about themselves, like the people with who you work, and how it was with you. How did you choose your PhD and the team who you wanted to join?
Or in the discipline of health science and more like in this way of public health, we don't have like a team in the like for pharmacy. We of course we can make like a research group, but it's more like a freelancer and interdisciplinary. And I wanted to stay here because I don't want to lose the contact with the university, because I would like to be here, like from the before, now from the master, and now from the second master. That's why I'm here. And I started thinking about the PhD at the beginning of my first master time. It was also a period of COVID and very hard work time, also for everyone, and also a little bit for me, because I wanted at this time to improve myself, like from the research and the organizational skills, and so also wanted in the at the time of the master degree wanted to try to feel about the obesity, but it was not so good for this time. I choose different theme. But that is why I want to continue in the PhD, so that's why I a bit combine with this my theme about the obesity and the healthcare system, and also it was a good opportunity to start the PhD when I start working at my division, at my department in the surgery, general surgery. So that was also very obvious to me to choose the promoter from there, because that was a clinic system that I must know that I didn't know it. So to combine the knowledge, and also I have a second promoter, because I have two promoters, and the second promoter is from the public health department. So this is making our interdisciplinary group. So yeah.
About me, it was that from my third year of studies, I joined the science circle at the Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry when I did my PhD. And at the beginning, it was pure curiosity, because it was the only team at our faculty that had 3D printers. So it was just an opportunity to learn something completely different from everyday learning. It was completely outside of the program, because 3D printing is not in a Polish pharmacy program, but it was very interesting to me. And at the beginning, there were, I think, 5 or 6 people from my group, and we were going there once a week or once every 2 weeks. And then with time, the less people were coming, so at the very end of my 4th year, there was only me and one of my colleagues. And when it came to deciding where we wanted to do our master thesis, I already knew that I wanted to do my master thesis in that team, because I really enjoyed working with those people. And yeah, it was how it was. So I decided to do a master thesis, but then there was this opportunity to use also Erasmus program. So I had really good relations with my supervisor, so I just asked them if I could do most of my master thesis before going to Erasmus and then finishing it after I come back. And he said he already knows me, he trusts me, so okay, I think he thinks that it's doable. So I went for 5 months to Finland, and I also, I learned a lot about pharmacy because I attended some courses. I attended courses that were not available at our university, so it was, for example, computer-aided drug design and structural biology, so the different approach from how we were taught at that time. And I also could use some experience of using 3D printers in pharmacy, so that was combining those two approaches. And it turned out that this topic, the 3D printers in analytical chemistry and pharmaceutical analysis, it's something that really interests me, and that this is very creative work. So I really enjoy this combination of pharmacy and creativity and some technical skills that are required to work with 3D printers. And after I finished my master thesis, it turned out to be quite good master thesis, and with quite high potential for application. And my supervisors asked me if I'm interested in doing a PhD, because we could really go on with this topic and we could develop it further. And since I already was thinking a little bit more about research, I said, yeah, I really want to do it. So that's how it started, and it was very smooth way. So I started my studies at this university, then I did my master thesis at this particular department, and then I'm doing PhD again at the same department. So I'm quite happy that I can be so tightly linked to this university. I am here already for almost 10 years, because pharmacy studies is almost 6 years, so it's almost 10 years in total. And yeah, I'm not tired, so we'll see how it goes.
You still enjoy it?
Yeah, I still enjoy it very much. And yeah, I'm hoping that maybe I will find my place for a longer time here.
May I add something?
Yeah.
Just to a story you said about Margaret. I remember when you arrived, it was February,
Yes.
and quite snowy February also.
Yes, yes.
So
I remember, and I was so impressed to see all the snow, because you know in Belgium it's more like rainy winters, and here it's really beautiful.
So during this few weeks only, which you stay here before, but stopped your activity, you were also able to go to Kashubai region on Kulik.
Kulik, we went for Kulik. Yes.
And this, I think, what you said, the atmosphere or relations, it's important. And also, at that time, we had a group of people who were very active, also besides, outside the laboratory.
And that's very important for good relations in general.
Yes. We also went for bowling.
Yes, we had
all in 1.5 months.
Yes.
It was a very nice
so
time.
short time, but very, very intense. I mean.
Yes.
So it was not the science only.
Not only science, yes. I tried to mention it during my short introduction that of course research is very important, and this career is very important, but to make it effective you need to have a good comfort, I mean mental comfort, psychological comfort, atmosphere.
Yeah, the PhD lasts around 4 years, and during these 4 years we really spent more time with our workmates, so with our laboratory mates, with our supervisors and fellow PhD students, than we spend with, for example, our partners. So it's really important to choose the right laboratory or the right team, the right department, the right division to think about it beforehand. And this is also communication to the potential PhD students listening to us now, that it is really good to know the people with who you might work for the following 4 years, and even if it's possibility to work with them for a week or 2 weeks before you decide on your PhD, it is worth it, because even a few days will allow you to make an opinion about how the team works.
Okay, I really agree with that. It's a very good advice.
And the second question to all of us is, how much freedom do you have to shape your research project? So how it was with you? How did you decide on your research project, and how do you adapt to how it changes? Because I think we all know that, Michał, you may not know yet because you're in first year, but the individual research plan that we make in first year, things do not go according to the plan.
Yes. So what I'm really grateful for is that in my department, I think new ideas are really stimulated, and I feel supported to pursue them. So I feel really lucky in this sense. I feel like I have a lot of freedom to shape my research project. For example, right now I'm learning to code, I'm learning to program in R, and I'm learning how to use multi-level modeling. It's something which I totally didn't get during my education. However, I see that it can optimize the workflow quite a lot. Like, it can save a lot of time if you can invest first some time to learn how to code. So what I really like about our department is that I have the freedom to decide how I will spend my time, and I feel supported in this. So I would say, yes, how much freedom? Like 9 or 8 out of 10. Of course, you know, things still have to get finished, and I also feel it because I'm now in the third year of my PhD. So I still only have 1 year left, and I feel the pressure of the deadline, let's say, coming near to me. So, you know, of course, you know, freedom is nice. You can do something extra in which you are interested in, but of course you should not lose out of sight the approaching deadline. So I'm trying to balance those two things, and yeah, we will see in a year how well I succeeded.
I must say the same like Margot said, because even on the first year I feel the same time pressure, and the deadlines comes, and I'm a bit scary about that. That's some time will be end to this all research and must be done. And come back to question about the freedom, and what I mentioned on the first. I feel a lot of freedom, pretty big freedom on my division. We'll see for how long, because this is the first year. Because they are the doctors, so they focus on the patient, the medical stuff, the operation block, and it's still different than me, so they don't understand so much what I'm doing. but that's so they don't know a little bit that giving me a freedom, because they think I'm a specialist for that. So
they think you know what you're doing.
Yes, yes. And also that I work there, so I have a lot of contact with these people, these amazing people, very a lot of knowledge and very open to new ideas. What can we improve? What can we also maybe calculate from the finance from the patients? So we are cooperate, and I hope this this time will be for entire na zawsze, tak. Forever. Yes.
Okay. I'm working with my team very closely, and I'm working in a team of 4, basically. So I would like to start with that. And for about 2 years, we are slightly divided into two different methods of 3D printing, and we are trying to develop some new ideas for pharmaceutical analysis using those 3D printed things that we make. And even though we work in a team of 4, I'm really happy to say that we have I have this feeling of equality. So we are working in a team of 2 PhDs and 2 PhD students, and I'm really happy that I can tell that we are completely equal when it comes to ideas and when it comes to decisions. So when, for example, my colleagues are working with slightly different technology than I work on a daily basis, they have some trouble, they have some questions, and we always brainstorm over it. So it is really great to say that I'm shaping both my PhD and my project, and also my colleagues, for example, and he does the same for me. And I feel like this is really valuable because we have different perspectives, and I believe that always in merging multiple perspectives, something better comes out than only one perspective and one idea. So I feel like I shape my project in a very large part, so I feel like my supervisor doesn't really force me to do anything in particular. I can really slightly change the direction where we are going, depending on the outcomes of my current work. So if I see that something has bigger potential than what I'm doing right now, we can brainstorm over it and we can decide together if we want to continue the path that it is already started, or if we want to do something completely new, even if the time passes. It is also, again, this is the pressure, the time pressure that we all have. I would say that during the PhD, there is always not enough time. And I hear it from also fellow PhD students with whom I'm talking. It's always not enough time. We always produce more, because this is always the sense of shaping something like almost like a sculpture. So we have a feeling that we could always do something more and always do something better and polish it and perfect it even more. So it's the same with the scientific projects, that we start something and we can see that, okay, I could go one step more, try something, and then something new, and again, and yeah, the time passes. So the perspectives are great. It is great to have multiple perspectives, but it also requires this decision making. So ultimately, this is our PhD, so we have to decide. So we of course have to take into account all the advices from our supervisors and from our colleagues, but ultimately we will defend the thesis. This is our decision in the end, how it goes and in which direction. So I would say that I have a lot of freedom in shaping my project, and I really wish that every PhD student had so much freedom in shaping the project. And then I would like also implement one advice for the future PhD students. So try to think about the project not in the matter if you already know that you can make it, but if you think that it will keep you interested during these 4 years. Because 4 years, it is always not enough time, but it is also a lot enough to learn new stuff. And PhD is always about learning new stuff. Even if you start your PhD and think that you will do it in a certain way, in the meantime you can switch it completely and the outcome might be even better. So just keep open mind and do not hesitate to go into a project that maybe is not completely overlapping with your with the experience that you already have and with the knowledge that you already have. It should always be open to something new, because it can really be very interesting and very stimulating to work with a very new project. I think from my personal experience, it is more stimulating to learn new things than to do stuff that you already know.
And I might start. I wanted only to say something about the time deadlines and time pressure. that please remember that the quality is always important, and we are forced by the law to keep it in certain time range. So that's why you have 4 years, and we ask for this evaluation, intermediate, and final. So the formal regulation forces us to keep this time constraints. However, the quality of the research of your work is the most important. So if there are reasons that the quality requires extension of the study, then in my personal, and probably not only my personal but our opinion, it is enough good reason to make it longer. So of course keep in mind that time is important, but not by compromising it with quality of your research. It's always quality should be before the time, in my opinion.
If I may add something, because you said quality, definitely. And if you contemplate becoming a researcher, following towards obtaining a degree, the degree itself is not the most important. You have to have this spark in you that you want to do it. You know what I mean? You want to do it. You are interested in doing something, doing some science, learning something new, discovering something. I remember it was, oh my goodness, it was 50 years ago when I started as a first-year student. It was the time where biology was still, dinosaurs were still roaming the earth, etc. And I read in a popular science book about the hypothesis that mitochondria might be bacteria that were engulfed by the very primitive cells and became their source of energy. Now I wanted to study. I was the first year medical student then, and I went to the histology department that I would like to study this because this is so interesting. And they did not reject me out like that, but they said, okay, it is very interesting indeed, but we do something else. We are interested in the development of immune cells. Perhaps you start with this, and perhaps with time we will go for the mitochondria. I never did, to be honest. But what I want to say, if you have this in you, and those of you who are witnesses to us, these are the fine examples. You wanted to do science, you wanted to do science, you wanted to do science. If you just want to have the PhD letters before or after your name on your medical doctor's stamp, forget it. That's no point. If you want to do it, I'm a medical doctor by education, but I never practiced as a physician, apart from getting my law of doctor. I went to medicine, to study medicine, to be a scientist. I had good advisors, that's true. But that's how it is. If you want to do it, you will be doing it, you will find. Sometimes you will change. And our colleagues mentioned going first through the scientific circle. Yes, very much so. Because there, you check also yourself, is it really what I'm going to do? Is it really what I want to do? Sometimes the day only has 24 hours. And sometimes you spend 25 hours doing your experiment out of this 24-hour day, and you sleep in the lab. So many times, yes. Because you are interested to know the end, the final result of this specific experiment. Don't you say so?
I totally agree with you. It's really important to have this internal drive to, I think, come to the finish line, because there will be parts of your project which might not be so easy, or you feel like you don't see the end of it, and it's really difficult to keep yourself motivated at such points during your project. But if you're doing this for a title, I mean, I don't know how that is. I feel like you would be much less willing to keep pushing through, because if you're doing this for, let's say, improving yourself, you're working for yourself. You're doing this because of your own intrinsic need to do this, and I think, yes, I totally agree with you that it's really important.
You must keep like a child's curiosity that's how it's doing. What can I do? Why it is making everything?
Yes.
The whole process. And also wanted to ask our future colleague. You are from health science, medicine.
I'm the same as professor. I finished medicine, but I don't practice as a doctor.
So here we have medicine students.
And now I'm from University of Technology, and I'm a biotechnology student.
Okay. So the interfaculty.
And health science.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Because in the way when you are working on clinic, you have a patient, and this is the patient that we can look what he or she have on their body. We can make blood samples that try to maybe some quality of life aspects. We have a lot of things in the body human, not in the microbiology things, the pharmaceutical, but we have a live organism, and then we can try to maybe combine some aspects in this to look something new, or the new I think the unit in this field. And also when you work with in the hospital, for me, for this general surgery, we have a lot of units, like unit from the endocrine, unit from the bariatric surgery, the colony surgery. So you can have a patient and you can all things put this knowledge of people put in this patient and take something from there to analyze the data and find some correlation about the disease maybe. And yes, this is the curiosity that you must keep.
Yes. I have to say that so far I haven't slept in the laboratory. I'm hoping for a while. Yeah, I'm hoping to postpone it as long as possible.
You know why? Because now you can program the 3D printer and it does the work, and you can go home.
Yeah, that's partly yes. But it is true that sometimes the days in the laboratory are very long, so a lot longer than we would expect. And this is basically our next question. So, how the typical day looks like, and or typical week, or is there any typicality at all? Unusual, not at all.
So for me, the typical day doesn't exist. I think it's a bit like what you said. My days are very varied. I'm working on lots of projects also with colleagues from my department, which is a great pleasure for me because it makes my days really varied, and I like that. I like it that way. So a typical day doesn't really exist. A typical week, maybe a little bit more, because on Monday I'm going every Monday to programming classes, which I'm following here at the doctoral school. Typically I also give a class, or I have to correct some assignments, such things. Although they don't really happen weekly, it's more like bi-weekly that I have to take care of something for students. So yes, most of my days I spend in the lab or behind the computer coding something.
My routine day is not also so routine because I always like running from the whole campus and being out of place on this one time.
I think it's even more difficult for you than for us because you have to combine the daily studies, right?
Yes, also I have a daily studies, so after the studies I have studies with students, classes, making. After that I work in the clinic and trying to help administration system there. So I always only on the evening check my calendar to make to-do list and look where and when I have appointments to be there. So very like day from day like life. Yeah. But I also have a plan for like 6 months in the future. So that's not. So that's very occasional.
Yeah. I have the same. So I also have a calendar that is going a lot in the future, and I would say that a good calendar is very important thing for every PhD student, because I have to say that last week there was this one day that I forgot my calendar, because I'm a little bit old school in this matter. I have a paper calendar, and I forgot my calendar, and I was completely lost. Like for a whole day, I was looking for my calendar and I couldn't find it. It was completely messing my day. Even though that for me the same, there is no usual day, so each day you have to do something different. And also here comes the freedom to shape our project and freedom to shape our work. So it depends on us what we do on certain day in a lot of ways. And it is also a little bit overwhelming sometimes when you see that you have so much to do and you have just this limited hours during the day, and you end your day and feel like only half things are done and you have to postpone it again, and maybe someone is waiting for you to finish your job to start their own job. It's often with writing, so you have to write your part so someone else could write their part, and it is very difficult to cope with this, but yeah, still it's worth it. I would say overall it is worth it to have this variety of days. But I would like to say that it is also important to have your beloved ones, your family, and your partners, just your very good friends, to be do not be very strict on you. So we need someone who is also gives us a lot of empathy and a lot of support, because just because of the fact that, for example, partners of scientists often work a full-time job, so they have 9-to-5 job and they come back. And with scientists, so researchers, young researchers, or experienced researchers, it's never like that. So even if we go out from the laboratory or we go out from the clinic, I believe that we never leave the work behind. We always take it home, and we always have this feeling that we're thinking about it, maybe I could do something better. Or the free time of a researcher, I would say that is a great time to think about the project. This is the free time and how we can spend. You can go on a picnic or lay on the beach and have vacation, and then think, okay, after I come back, I will do this and this and that, and maybe I will change something. So yeah, the typicality does not exist very much, and it is difficult to do. But also, I have to say that it is really good that at our doctoral school we do not have a lot of obligatory classes to attend on a everyday basis. So and all the classes usually are well known. The dates and times of the classes are already known at the very start of the year, most of it, and we can already prepare the calendar and think about it, how we want it in advance, how we want to work it out,
I know that the Q&A section is at the end, but I will have some things to manage during the day, so can I ask you something?
Yeah, of course.
Are some of you working like full-time jobs? Because right now I'm working as a midwife and at NYCU, and it really is saddening, which is I don't want to postpone for 4 years to just study. I mean, I love to study, but still this work with patients is something which gives me so much joy and so much, even this feeling to improve myself. So maybe I will try to take less hours at the hospital, but I don't see a possibility to put it away for 4 years. So do you know if some of you, maybe you, or maybe other students, are you working full-time jobs and still manage to do your thesis in time that you need to finish it?
I can share something about that because in my department there are few Polish students who are combining pharmacy work with their PhD. So, for example, they leave a bit earlier during the day to then go in the afternoon to work in the pharmacy. And then often they tell me that, after they come home from the pharmacy or when they have a night shift, they are working on their project. So, you can combine it, but it requires a bit of discipline. It requires a lot of discipline from you, but also flexibility from both your employer and your promoter. So yes, I think if you can find somebody who can support you in that, that would be really valuable.
We like this clinical perspective from current PhD student. I think Magda would be perfect to answer that. And because this is a situation for most of our the people who graduated from the medicine. This is very common because they, as far as I know, almost all of them have clinics from the morning, and then they work on their PhDs on the afternoons, in the afternoons, or otherwise. But it is doable to combine it. So at times, for sure, it will be overwhelming because it is just a lot to take, and outside of your job, outside of your PhD, everyone wants to have some private life or hobby or whatever. So it is difficult. I had maybe not a full-time job, but I was working it was 3 quarters, let's say, for first almost 3 years of my PhD. And it is good to have a flexible job. Then it is perfectly doable, I would say. And a lot of PhD students do that, combine it. But it requires a lot of discipline, and like Marco said, it is good to have a flexible employer because your own work you can adjust when you want to do it. But there are some parts of PhD that cannot be fully adjusted to you and only you. Like for example, those classes. There are not a lot of classes, but still they are in fixed hours, and this is something that you can change. You just have to somehow find your place in all that load of things to do.
Can I ask the question, are those classes online? Because I've heard that some of them are.
It depends. Some of them are, but I think each year, mostly, but I think each year there are some professors, some.
It depends.
Yeah, it depends, but I think most it is. And as a Doctoral Students Council, we will be trying to speak with the people who run those classes if those classes could be a little bit later. So, for example, not from the very morning, because this is a problem for clinicists, because they have those clinics in the mornings. So, if they could start, for example, afternoon after 12. So,
But you know that the teachers also want to have their life. But speaking about that, if you are like yourself a general medical profession and you don't want to you best try, if you want still, you have this spark in you and you want still to do your PhD, not only to have a PhD but to do something, yes, you can combine. It will be difficult, it will be hard, and you would have to choose the topic to be somewhat associated with what you do. The same possibly for you.
that is perfect combination.
That's the best. If you are for discovery science, then this is the most jealous part of science that you can imagine. You cannot go start your experiment and say, okay, 3 o'clock I'm going home, and everything is thrown to the sea. No, you cannot. Apart from that you lose your observation, you lose money, etc. You don't want to do it because you're interested. So, okay, it is 3 o'clock, I should go to my patients. But I cannot because I'm in the middle of the experiment. What I do? And that's very, very difficult. That's why I decided not to be a professional clinician to go for science full time. Because otherwise it does not work. Or works, but something gives. Something gives. Because you cannot. And we were talking a lot about quality. If you want to be good midwife, good physician, you go for quality. You learn to become even better. Otherwise it's just a job. Okay, great. But it's not possible. And then if you are at the same time going to study, going to do research, you also want to be good at it. There's no point otherwise. So, and that sometimes is very, very difficult. When I'm observing my clinical colleagues who follow the scientific career, they either resign from being clinicians or resign from being scientists. Because it's really, really very, very, but it can be done.
Yeah. Yeah, as Professor said, it's perfect when you can combine your clinical work and your PhD thesis when it's overlapping as much as it's possible.
Because it can give you this passion, this spark to care about your patients even better, and also to do science better because you have this clinical background. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is probably the most important part. So if you feel like you really want to do it, then you can always do it. I would say that the will is the most important part. So even if your employer is not very happy with you giving out of your time to your PhD, if other people see that you really want to do it and that you are enthusiastic about it, then they slowly give up. It's perfect.
I mean, I think our hospital will be happy that their employees are improving. So I hope that my employee will give me this opportunity.
Yeah, but this is combining your work and your PhD is one of the challenges, and the challenges are our next question exactly. So if you could tell us a little bit more about, because we already heard about some challenges, because yeah, it's worth to say that a PhD is not an easy thing to do, and maybe it is not, maybe it shouldn't be easy to do. I think it only has value if it requires some dedication and some time and some work. So, what were the main challenges that you found during your work, and how did you overcome them, or how do you cope with it?
So of course there are always unexpected challenges, like you make your individual research plan and you think that things will run in such and such a way, but then you find something unexpected and you decide that okay, let me investigate this. But one of the unexpected challenges that were for me was not really related to science, because you always kind of expect some scientific challenge during your PhD, I think, was the fact that I have two promoters, and one of my promoters decided to change university, so it's created some questions for me, where will I culture my cells that I need to isolate my mitochondria, and such things. So in my opinion, the situation was solved mostly through talking with both of my promoters. How will we solve the situation? What can we do? What are the options? Even to hear what the options could be. And the way that we overcame them was that we organized some trips, sometimes to Wrocław, where I go to culture my cells for 3 weeks, isolate mitochondria, bring back samples to Gdańsk, and in the same time I get to see Wrocław, which is a very beautiful city. So although I'm mostly in the lab, but yes, it was one of the unexpected challenges that I think you can always face during a PhD. Of course, in the situation where you have two promoters, it's a bit different. Yes, I was here in Gdańsk most of the time, and sometimes then visit my other promoter in Wrocław. So yes, this was something unexpected for me.
For me, I also have unexpected things that I met. That was when the Ministry of Health entry found some program and waiting still for starting finance procedures. So that's a quite big problem about the patients. But also for now I have data that can I work, so it's time to maybe more analyze, and then when the refund starts, have a live, have a talk with patient, and then improve my research thesis. So also want to I want to tell that always, even that is unexpected things, that you must always have a plan B, make a risk analysis to your work, your research, and even if it not comes of this, even if it comes this problem, you and you will have like a plan B, or you can even operates your thesis. That's how you can fit different theme to this. Like
Adjust the topic.
yes, that's like a Rubik's cube. You must do this thing.
That's a good analogy. Speaking about challenges, they may be bad, they may be good. Going from my own history, when I have finally decided with my supervisors to do a topic, I started doing first experiments, and the instrument broke. And it was in the time that to repair it lasted more than half a year. So, so I asked my supervisor, doctor, in the meantime, can I try one thing that I have in mind? Okay, you have nothing else to do apart from teaching, because I was already teaching first year students histology. Okay, try it and show me the results. Okay, I tried. And he was interested, I was very interested and hopeful, and this actually shaped my further research for decades. If I did what was originally planned, and in fact, after 3 or 4 months of waiting for the instrument to be repaired, apart from doing the other interesting thing, I've read in one of the scientific papers that somebody did it already. Exactly what I was planning to do. Exactly the same. So my research will be completely worthless. So challenges may be useful. But nowadays, even one of my PhD students from a couple of years ago, she was using some reagent, some monoclonal antibody, for some rare protein to detect, to observe the microscope, the cytometer, whatever. And at some point, the company stopped making it completely. So, and she's in the middle of the experiments. She does not have yet enough data to finish. So we go for another reagent from different company, and gives completely different results, even if it's nominally the same. So you know, if you are in discovery science, it may happen. Eventually we bypassed all these difficulties, and she completed, and we have more than 10 papers together, so it was not really not just a PhD, but it was difficult. But you know, when you are in the middle of some experiments, and suddenly you cannot do it. It's not your fault, but let's say a company. Because it was so rare that they probably found, okay, it doesn't pay to keep the line open. Yes. For this 1 or 2 scientists in the world who's interested.
One in Poland, because for Poland is very important.
Well, it was easier in the old time because we were making our own reagents. And now we rely on the companies and on money to purchase.
And it is also often a source of these unexpected challenges.
Oh, yes.
So for example, during the pandemic, it was so difficult to get anything delivered. So let's start. It was difficult to make an order because people were working shifts in the companies, and then it was difficult to have someone deliver it because a lot of couriers just dropped their jobs, afraid to deliver to a variety of people every day. Yeah, so it took months to get some reagents to, and yeah, this is let's say 2 years ago, so not so far ago. And Michał mentioned that plan B, and I would say that it is also worth to have plan C and maybe some brief prospect of plan D even, because yeah, you never know what happens. And for me, it was similar to what the professor mentioned. So also an instrument broke, and we thought it would take 2 weeks to fix it. It took over 4 months to fix it. And during this time, like you never have so much time that you can just waste it. You can't waste 4 months, even 2 weeks. It is already difficult to waste whole 2 weeks of work. So yeah, you just have to switch from what you're doing right now to this plan B, and then maybe to this plan C. So yeah, it is always difficult to combine every part of this work. And I would like to say about different challenges also. Like when you are a researcher, and it doesn't really matter if I think from what I hear from my colleagues, it doesn't really matter if you are a young researcher as a PhD student or if you're an experienced researcher. You always have to keep in your mind that you will be almost constantly judged for your work and for your accomplishments. So we are always compared to each other, especially from the same branch of science. So, for example, imagine you go to a conference which is focused on your, let's say, quite narrow branch of science. You meet usually on each conference similar group of people, and you are always judged and compared to these people. So you might try to befriend them, you might try to exchange your knowledge, and then you have to keep in mind that when the next funding competition will be opened, you will all apply for the same funding, and some of you will get it, and some of you will not get it. And it is the same with, for example, National Science Center projects. So, for example, there is basically only one project for PhD students right now. It is Preludium, and it is only opened once a year right now. And like half of your fellow PhD students will apply for the same project and for the same program, and yeah, it is impossible for everyone to get it. So it is really important to remember that doing a PhD also is tightly linked to this feeling of failure from time to time. It is really important to celebrate every success, because very often in a very short time you will also get an information about some denial or about dropping out from a project. So yeah, I would say that this is also a challenge that I was not very I wasn't familiar with it before I started my PhD. It was new to me, and at first it really hurt. So when you give a lot of heart to write some project, and you spend a lot of time perfecting it, and you look at it and you feel like, okay, there is not a lot left, not much to do more about this project to make it even better, and then it goes down, and you do not get the funding. So it is also a challenge to cope with. And again, it is very important to have these close people, your family, your friends, who will be empathic towards you and who said, yeah, don't worry, like, this time you failed, but next time you will succeed, and it will all work out eventually.
But also, in my opinion, I will quickly say something short. It's really important also in science to have this failure.
Yeah.
I feel like the moments during my PhD in which I learned the most was always when something else was going wrong. Because then you have to start thinking, okay, how can I solve what is going wrong? What can we do? What are the options? And you are in interaction with your colleagues, you are learning from them, you have some new perspectives, and I think it's really important to also have this feeling of sometimes almost gratitude for when something goes wrong, because it can be quite discouraging otherwise, I think. Yeah.
But you know in science, failures teach the strong and eliminate the weak. Because the weak just fail if something goes wrong.
You can learn from success the same thing that you can learn from failure. So it's like very important to have failure.
Yes, and to have supportive family, partners, yes. But to have a good partner when you are a scientist, such a person has to be either very tolerant, understanding, and forgiving, or has to be a scientist himself.
Yes.
These are the two options. Otherwise, it's really, it may be really difficult. Because if somebody is working hours, 8 to 4, and next day same, and then comes back home and expects some interaction with the partner and with the family, and the partner is still in the middle of the experiment until 8 p.m. or 1. That is maybe difficult.
Yeah, or you want to plan vacation, and your partner can plan vacation or has to plan vacation like 6 months in advance to let know their employer. And yeah, next 6 months, if I knew what I will be doing in 6 months, like exactly in 6 months, but that is difficult. So yeah, it requires a lot of tolerance from partners. So let's switch the topic a little bit. Like we do not have a lot of time left, but I think we have time for maybe 2 questions. Let's see. Let's switch to funding a little bit, because people who are going to be PhD students, I would say that some already know what this work looks like, and there is this other part who completely do not know that, okay, to do research we need funding, and where does funding come from? So how did you have funding for your research? Did you have any grants, or did you apply to any grant? Did you get them? Are you the holder, so are you the primary investigator, or are you, for example, employed in someone else's grant? How was it for you?
So last year, it's ending, right now for me. I was a holder for Young Creators of Science grant, which is organized by either department from our university. I applied for it in May 2022, I think. Yes, so then from September I think I got a grant, and then it ran for 1 year with an extension. It's a grant which I would recommend to other PhD students to apply to, because it's not a very difficult application procedure, and there is quite a high chance, in comparison with, for example, NAVA, to get funding. So I would really recommend that, especially maybe during the earlier years, because you can choose when you have this Young Creators of Science grant, you can choose that either you will make a publication in a Q1 journal, or you will apply to another grant body. So you can use this as like pilot study, and then extend your grant, in another body like NAWA or NCN. So
yes, I completely understand that it's like a pre-order for that. For now, I don't have any grants. I take part to grants more in the administration's way, but not making science writing to them. But I would hope to maybe in few months or maybe 2 years to get some mini grants to my research. Yeah, we will see.
About me, I had I applied to our internal grant, so internal within the university, and it was I think for young researchers. It was like one time some funding granted. I think it was around 4,000, and we applied with two other colleagues, and we bought a printer, so collectively, and. It is really good to use every opportunity for the grant from within the university, because, as Marcus said, the applications are easier. Also, the competitiveness is not so high, especially that I mentioned that for National Science Center there is only one program for PhD students right now, so it is very competitive. It is completely not enough, and we are hoping that maybe. Because some time ago it was open twice a year, and now it's only once a year, so we are hoping that maybe they will bring it back to open twice a year. Also, I was a scholarship holder in a grant of one of my supervisors. It was a National Science Center Sonata, so it is also worth to know that when you are applying for a PhD, it is also good to search for some databases where scientists who are already experienced scientists and are grant holders are looking for PhD students to be employed or to hold a scholarship. It's slightly different when it comes to the funding and how it is resolved, but in the end it means the same for you, that you have additional money. So it is always good to have additional money, and it's always good to look for cooperation with someone who is a grant holder. And I also applied for two grants from National Agency for Academic Exchange from NAVA, and I didn't get any of them. So it is worth to apply. I can't say that it's not, but this is again, you have to be open for this sense of failure that might come, because the success rates vary from 15% or 20% to over 30%, depends on the program. So
I would say it's even worse.
Below 10%.
Yes, for NCL I know it's lower. For National Science Center I know it's lower. For NAVA it's a little bit higher, but still NAVA is for mobility, in case someone didn't know. So it's not exactly the money for your research, it's money for your mobility and for visiting some abroad facilities. So I would say that funding is a part of PhD, and just we have to remember about it, because sometimes it is frustrating when we want to open this new branch of our work, and it requires sometimes maybe not even so expensive stuff or things, like the reagents, for example, don't even have to be so expensive, but still you need to have the money to pay for it. And it is worth to remember about it from the very beginning, and to try to apply for it, because even if you have the sense that, for example, your facility has enough money to grant your research, it is just worth for your own CV. It is like the good researcher should be able to write the application, and the good researcher should be able to get the funding, because at some point, when you finish your PhD, when we finish our PhDs, we might want to become the scientists of our own, so independent scientists, and then funding will only depend on us. So I think this is also an important part of this work. Do you have time for one more question or not?
In 5 minutes we should
Okay.
have a break. But I want to comment on the funding, because we have to be aware of what funding it is to be. If you are doing, say, in the medicine, clinical medicine, some project, and you are analyzing the data that's already acquired, like clinical histories, lab data from the clinical lab, and you may, and on many occasions you get new results out of it, because nobody just thought about it. And you combine 2 or more things, but for this you only need your patience, your time, possibly a good computer. And this would be, let's say, 5,000 zlotys, and you may have really a good result of it. If it is a discovery science, you need to buy reagents, plastics, sometimes an instrument which may cost many thousands.
More than
Oh,
thousands.
more than thousands, yes. Then, where the stars start. That's the problem. And for this, you need, of course, some external grants, which are difficult to come by, as we all know. So, it may be difficult, but it is possible.
Yeah, there are many sources. So outside of what we mentioned here today, there are many sources for funding, and it's just worth to get familiar with as many as possible. Because sometimes even you might think that, okay, this is out of my scope, but then cooperations come into work. So it is also worth to cooperate with some other research teams, and then this is another source of funding. Okay, so if we finish, then thank you very much. And do you have any questions, maybe? Yeah?
Yeah, two questions that are like combined together maybe. I've got a question about finding a supervisor, because I finished my medical degree some time ago, also not in Gdańsk, in another city, in Warsaw, and I don't know anyone from the university itself, so it's like I can go blindly towards many departments looking for a supervisor, but I tried once and failed. And this is like a question, how can someone find a supervisor? Do you provide any kind of guidance or support for this as recruitment? And the second question is about foreigners who would like to study here, and it's like I've learned that you're in this like NAVA project for enhancing international cooperation, and for me it's quite easy because I speak Polish, I can talk with many people here, and I can find a supervisor. Like if I would visit a lot of them, maybe one will agree. And how can like foreigner find a supervisor here, because it's like in recruitment criteria to provide all the documents that someone accepts you inside the department here. And for example, if someone is like me, is like not working as a doctor and is not like working in any department, so I don't have friends here who would like to take care of me there. So yeah, that's my question about like finding the supervisor and how foreigners can also.
So I think that the application process shouldn't be much different for foreign people, I think, than for Polish students. The way that I found my supervisor is by checking through the list of publications. So if you go to the government website, you can navigate like to the department website, and often they have like a list of publications over the last 5 to 10 years or something. And then you can see which ones really fit your interests. That's what I did. And because I saw that the Department of Biopharmaceutics was working in design of experiments and in metabolomics, I saw that, okay, they really match my interests. So with that knowledge, I made my CV and I sent an email to Professor Markuszewski. And then, I was invited for Erasmus, we talked and we got to know each other. So I would say that probably the good place to start is to check publications of the departments, to see really like which ones are aligned with your interests. And then to go from there, you can, have discussions with a potential promoter, what kind of promoter is he or she, what kind of direction does he or she see for the department in the next 5 years, for example. Such things you can then discuss with your potential promoter.
So, yes, finding a good promoter is always very difficult because you do not know each other. So one thing is what Margaret said. You are interested in some topic that you would like to pursue, so you seek the person who may be a good supervisor of what you want to do by checking the literature. A very good thing for a local is, but you are already past this time, to go for a scientific survey. Many of us who later went to science were going through the scientific survey, where we learned not only the techniques, how to do science, but also how to interact with the supervisor. And the supervisor of the circle on many occasions became the supervisor of the PhD. You start to know each other and then you decide, okay, will it fit or not? If not, you go
It's
on.
like a marriage.
To the extent, absolutely. But first you need to know what part of science you are interested in. And then you start seeking.
It is also good to seek for current PhD students in the
Also.
similar field. So, for example, besides of this list of publications, also departments, most of the departments has this list of workers and PhD students. So it's also worth to just contact directly a certain person. So if you find that, okay, so this department might interest me and there are, besides of the supervisor, there are 2 PhD students, for example, it is worth to just contact the person and to ask, like, hi, I'm interested in a PhD in your department. Are you open to it? Is it worth it? Like, how do you feel after this time that you will spend there? And the perspective of a PhD student is different from supervisor's perspective, and it might be sometimes more honest, for example, because I believe that every supervisor thinks that they do their best. But what
And
the
the
PhD
PhD
students
students also think that they
yeah, it works both sides. Yeah, so it's really worth to ask just the people who you might know from the certain university. And for example, for today, you can talk to us, and maybe we know someone from the department that you might be interested in, and maybe we can just pass forward the contact to you.
Yeah, I think, I'm sorry. This is like, seriously, it's like a marriage. If there is like a chemistry, because between you and supervisor, it's much more easier to make some kind of research together. Maybe that's the thing. And if you are not growing up in the same university, you don't finish the same one, it's like hard to like find, because you don't have any experience there. If you are like student of such university, you can like, you have many lectures and you can choose one, or maybe even if the topic is not the same. I personally think that the chemistry is more important than the topic itself. But yeah, that's what I'm mentioning.
But it could also be interesting, I think, to look at networking events in the area. Like if there will be a conference, for example, often they have like networking evenings, so you can meet people in a certain field, for example. And I've also thought of something else, because maybe you still have contact with people at the University of Warsaw, where you were studying before, as I understood.
Yeah.
So
I prefer the dance, sorry.
I understand.
After studying so many years, I also
You have to understand that the people in the University of Warsaw might have connections to
Yeah, they
certain
might
people in
know.
Gdańsk.
yeah.
Like they might be able to send you in a certain direction, and if they can vouch for you, I think that's also worth it. So I think there's many options to find a way.
Okay, so we are already past the time. So thank you very much for the talk and for answering questions.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And
Thank you,
Professor, for taking part in our discussion too. So yeah, thank you very much. And I think we're going to the break, right?
Yes.
It's a pleasure for me to.
Nas akurat stamtąd jest wychodzi. Tak.
Thank you very much, Barbara. We haven't spent
Yeah, I know how it's possible.
I don't know how either.
Jeżeli ja
If you ever have something.
So Okay, let us make it official. It is now a coffee break, and we reconvene at 10 past. No, means 25 minutes already. Zero over.
Nice. Great. Didn't you also have a student from Belgium?
Yes, last summer there was Fedra. I actually missed the opportunity to meet her, but I'm going to visit her this year. I'm going to Brussels. Yeah, I'm going to Brussels for 2 months. With another student.
Oh, great. So you're going to Professor Debbie?
Yes.
She was a promoter of my master. Really?
Yes.
Oh, great. So I have lots of connections. If you're looking for accommodation or something,
I am.
just text me. I can help you.
That's right. That's really great.
I can give materials and everything. So
Because Fedra already, I think they're just so kind. I haven't met them yet, but I only met them once online. But they are so kind. They already, Fedra already provided me with some links to the accommodation. I should check it. But I could use all the help. So that
okay. So just let me know whenever you need any help.
Okay,
I will
thank you very much.
be able to see where I can help you.
Thank you.
Even if you're looking to rent on the private market or something, it's possible. If you have the dormitories or something, you want to rent on the private market, if you make like an Instagram post or something, I will share it, and I know many people use it. Yes. You
Thank you.
Yes,
Oh,
I
it's
will be
so kind of
there.
you.
Też bujała się.
Yeah, I need to take care of it because I'm going there
Dlatego byś nie za bardzo...
in half of September, so only like
Okay, not very long from now.
June, July, August, and then so I have to look for something. For past week I didn't have time, but I want to take care of it next week. So don't be surprised if I contact you because
No, please do so. And I have a question because from the discussion I heard that you are in the last year.
Dogadanie, nie?
So
Wszystko ma
do you know how it works?
Bardzo ciężko.
After
Ja byłem 7 lat w różnych
your PhD is finished,
szefami i tak
your
dalej.
funding stops, right?
No i na końcu...
even if my PhD doesn't finish,
Yes,
I want to
you
be
didn't submit yet, but the term of the PhD is finished, so the
Yeah.
funding stops.
yeah, I have to prolong the PhD, but it will not be funded anymore. So yeah, that's why I'm looking for opportunity to hire this because I need
Nie dopasowujemy się.
scholarship holder, but it also finished, so now I will have this funding from the scholarship, the basic one, and I just need to get some job. I don't need a lot of time. I think like I need like 6 months, and I should be able to give my thesis, to finish my thesis. So
I feel like I will be in the probably similar situation like you in maybe 1 year from now, because I lost quite a lot of time by traveling between. Sorry, am I in your way or no? By traveling between Wrocław and Gdańsk, being in Wrocław for 3 weeks, coaching in cells, and then having to come back to Gdańsk. But I used 3 weeks of labo in Gdańsk, so it's a bit easy and not such an easy combination. So yes, I feel like it's debate my project in Oklahoma and here.
okay, I have to submit until the end of June the application for prolongation of the PhD and opinion from my supervisors and stuff like that. So I'm planning.
Okay. So good luck with that. Great.
We have to meet are you there like on a daily basis?
Every day.
Every day.
Yes, sometimes in the afternoons I go home and then work from home.
Yeah, I usually from 9 to 3 and then I work from home.
Yes, me too, something like that. Then eat something at home and then in the evening. So, okay. So it's really nice to meet you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for always. No, it's just my pleasure. Yes, I hope so. We will see. Thank you.
Are you staying here or are you going to?
I'm thinking to go
Nieoficjalnie byłem też 4.
Thank you very much. Feel free to contact me.
Spoko, ale czekajcie bardzo do...
Yes,
zapraszam na salę uczestników. Bardzo dobrze jest.
Nie zmieszczę się.
Jest już nie ostatnio, ja myślę, że to tylko wygląda. Do widzenia.
Co tam? Zapraszamy.
Trzeba rozmawiać tę strategię marketingową na ten moment.
Tak, to był pierwszy raz też.
Okay, there. Okay, so with a small delay, let's continue. And now it's time for some testimonials from PhD students, which will be in the form of short videos. So I will start the first one for you. I hope that we still have some audience online, which we don't know, but hopefully so. Okay.
I chose Medical University of Gdańsk because at that time university was placed high at the national rankings, and of course because Gdańsk is very attractive for young people. It's a modern city mixed with a beautiful nature. If you want to slow down, you don't have to leave the city. You just get the bike and in 10 minutes you can go for a walk at the beach. I live in Rzeszów. It's one of the districts of Gdańsk, mainly because it's very well located. What I like the most about being a scientist are all the opportunities I have. I can attend international conferences and meet scientists from all over the world, share our experience, exchange ideas. This is what motivates me the most. What I also like about being a scientist is that I'm an academic teacher. Not that long ago I was a student as well, so I totally understand students' expectations. When I was after second year, which was pretty tough, I started searching for some kind of activity or hobby which would help me stay calm, and that's how I started drawing. I also created a profile on Instagram where I share my experience, both medical and scientific. I just want to encourage other students to get involved in either student activities or some research projects, because I think that they should make the most of their studies, because Medical University of Gdańsk has a lot to offer. My research journey started rather typically. As a medical student, I joined a dermatology scientific circle, and also at that time I met my mentor, Professor Violetta Barańska-Rybak.
Magdalena Antoszewska is especially interested in chronic wounds. She has been doing a lot of different research projects at our department since she started to be a member of our scientific society for students. Now she has a great project with Finland, and it will be a subject of her PhD thesis.
As a PhD student, I conduct a research project together with Dr. Pierwszej. It's interdisciplinary and also international collaboration.
Recently, she has developed new contacts from Finland, and thanks to that, we have started a study which analyzes blood impedance on measurement of blood impedance in chronic wounds.
We are going to measure bioimpedance in the process of wound healing, and then do the correlation analysis between bioimpedance changes and changes of the surface of wounds. Our study group is consisted mainly of patients with chronic venous insufficiency, and it's a major problem and very challenging nowadays. So we just hope that in the future our research would be helpful and meaningful for the society. It's also very innovative because in our research we use mainly mobile applications, both for measurement of the surface and measurement of bioimpedance.
Many people are talented and gifted, and that's not her main strong suit, I guess. She's very persistent and determined and motivated, and this is something that will get her far.
I'm sure she will achieve what she has planned. She works very hard. Now she works at the ER department. She still didn't open specialization in dermatology and mineralogy because it's very hard, but I'm sure she will succeed with this. I will help her as much as I can.
For me it was. How do I switch to the next one?
wanted not only to observe the world and be a passive participant, but I also wanted to actively change the world and understand it. When I found out that I was admitted to Medical University of Gdańsk, I still had some other options, but I knew that Medical University of Gdańsk is one of the best medical universities in Poland, and also I was really interested in Gdańsk as a city, because when I first visited it, I could feel everywhere the atmosphere of the city of freedom. And the Shipyard is a symbol of system transformations in Poland, a place where the past meets the future. For me, it's also a place where I meet with my friends. We are dealing with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's a rare disease affecting boys and resulting in not only loss of mobility, because that's a major problem, but also in cardiomyopathy. It's a cause of up to 30% of deaths in this population. Professor Otwarte and Dr. Pierwszej came up with the idea of the study with metoprolol. We know that tachycardia is a common problem in this group of patients, and beta blocker drugs are used in this problem. So their idea was, and still is, to assess the safety of metoprolol and its efficacy in preventing cardiomyopathy. And preventing cardiomyopathy will mean not only better well-being of the patients, but also will reduce deaths that are caused by heart failure. We believe that we will be able to gather a big enough group of patients to successfully run the study, and gathering such a group of patients and using metoprolol that was not investigated in that context earlier makes the study special.
Well, the cooperation started a few years ago. Marta was a student, and she came to our team as a young doctor. She would like to improve her knowledge, scientific work, and we tried to involve her in our small team.
First, I was given small tasks just to better understand the science and the scientific world, and then gradually I got more responsibilities. I'm happy to say that I am part of this research team and I cannot wait to see the results of our study. I also really enjoy working with my mentors, so Professor Kwiatkowska and Dr. Meyer, because they not only show me how to deal with the patients, how to design a study, but also encourage me and help me deal with different obstacles that I meet.
I hope that my students and Magda, following my mentoring, will become independent scientists in future.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, after this few videos, I give you now Professor Szkoły, who is my deputy director for the medical sciences, and who will tell you, as you can possibly see on screen, discover science. Another thought is for tissue regeneration. What is yours?
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Professor. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Professor Szkoły, and as you can hear, I'm a professor here at Medical University of Gdańsk, and also Deputy Director of Doktorskiej, also group leader in the laboratory of tissue engineering and regenerative medicine. So today I would like to give you a short overview of the thing that we're doing in our lab, also some details, some information about the research in our university. So I'm really happy that I can be a part of that extra meetings, open days of our first Medical University of Gdańsk Doktorskiej. So few words about the issue that we are doing in our lab. So tissue engineering is quite a new branch of science based on biotechnology, molecular biology, chemistry, and of course medicine. And thanks to its translational nature, tissue engineering constitutes the basis of regenerative medicine, but also personal medicine, which is also very crucial now in medicine. So when we think about tissue engineering, we think about let's say triads. So there are three main important pillars of the tissue engineering that are signals, cells, and scaffolds, biomaterials. So basically we try to analyze these three pillars. So actually in our lab we analyze stem cells, mainly from adipose tissue, skin. We analyze different biomaterials to support the genetic process, to think about the translation and transplantation of these scaffolds, and of course signals. As you probably know, signals are really crucial for cells. So cells do not alive without signals, like say humans, so we need to have a support, we need to have signals. So we're working on the protein, peptides, growth factors, different signals to stimulate cells to regeneration, proliferation, migration, different processes. So it is true not only in the in vitro, so when we build the scaffold, when we build the tissue, but also when we think about transplantation of cells to the patient. So I don't have enough time to say details about that. Just a short overview. We have different biomaterials, of course, ceramics, synthetic polymers, naturals, different signals, and also different cells, different origin of cells. So it can be autologous for the same patient, it can be allogenic. Also, we use progenitor cells. We use sometimes transformed cell line, which are immortalized. This is a very nice model to analyze biomaterials and growth factors, but also there are some clinical trials focusing on the transplantation of or transformed cell line. So in our lab, we mainly focus on stem cells isolated from adipose tissue. It's a really nice source of stem cells because, as you probably know, this is a kind of waste. Sometimes after liposuction, after surgery, we can isolate them. I will tell you a little bit more then later. We also have stem cells from the skin. Also, sometimes it's waste after surgery. But also we are able to analyze and propagate endothelial cells. They are crucial to forming capillaries. So peptides, growth factors, nanotechnologies, scaffolds. Also we have some analysis connected with the immune system, which is also crucial in the regeneration process. One of the things that we analyze is peptides because they are really promising group of potential therapeutics due to the very high biological activity and specific mode of action. Also, peptides can be quite easily modified, so we can change them, we can modify the structure, and they are much more cheaper than growth factors. As you probably know, growth factors, molecular antibodies, generally proteins are quite expensive. So, thanks to the cooperation with the Faculty of Chemistry and different departments in Poland and abroad, we are able to analyze peptides, which very often they have very similar mode of action, similar activity like in growth factors. What is also important for us is commercialization. So when you look at the global peptide therapeutic market, you see that it's still increased. It's really promising global therapeutic market. So we do some preclinical tests based on the computational chemistry, organic chemistry. We design peptides, of course, with cooperation with the chemists, with the molecular biologists. Then we analyze them, for example, using antibacterial activity, then some cytotoxic tests, also some immune response. So basically, we are very interested in analyzing the safety. So we can analyze that using cells, stem cells, for example, but also we are very interested in the immune response. As you probably know, immune response is very, very important in the regeneration process. Sometimes drugs, especially peptides, growth factors, they can have some adverse effects. They can, for example, activate lymphocytes, and some of these aspects we can predict using in vitro models. So when we think about the strategies for regeneration, we can think about the scaffolds, we can think about growth factors, peptides, and also we can think about cells. When we join that together, we are able to form the, let's say, intelligent, smart scaffolds which possess not only the growth factors but also cells, which then will stimulate the regeneration process. So one of the ideas is that you have a patient and you isolate the fragment of the tissue, let's say skin or adipose tissue. Then you expand the cells, you propagate them in vitro. Sometimes you try to analyze the quality of the cells. You can also sort cells, for example, stem cells. And then very often we differentiate them. So we are able to also differentiate them, let's say, to chondrocytes. And then you have a fragment of cartilage. And the idea is that you then transplant the cartilage to the patient with, let's say, disease. Of course, it can be also skin, it can be also different organs. So one of the things which is very important is isolation of cells, which will divide. So this is mainly stem cells. And of course, there are some organs, there are some tissue like a bone marrow, like a skin, which they have lots of stem cells. And it's quite easy to obtain them, it's quite easy to propagate them in vitro. But of course, there are some tissues, some organs like lung, brain, kidney, heart, when the stem cells occur at very low level. So also we know that the regeneration process in this tissue is also very low. So it is very connected. So different things about materials. So of course there are lots of things that are important. Like strength, elasticity, toxicity, water content, and what is for us the most important is biological issue like a motif that cells can recognize. So we try to develop the biomaterials that will be recognized by cells. So challenges, of course, lots of safety, surface modification, design function, avoid immune response, preclinical to clinical, so it is translation, sterility, also very important, storage, long-term monitoring. So as you can see, there is lots of challenges. So it's not so easy to develop very nice biometer that we can then use in the patient. So in our study, we try to think about this aspect. So when we publicate, we try to focus our analysis to these challenges. So as I said before, we cooperate with the chemistry, with the chemists, with the faculty of chemistry, and then with one of our consortium, when we isolate and we analyze lots of especially small compounds, but also peptides, gels, biomaterials, especially for skin regeneration. And as I said before, one of the material that is using for us is the fat tissue and skin. So during the surgery, like a liposuction, like a general surgery, we are able to take a waste from the surgery, then isolate stem cells. This is one of the examples of liposuction thanks to the cooperation with the Department of Plastic Surgery. So generally, you can say that after the liposuction, the fat tissue was treated like a waste for many, many years. And now we know that fat tissue is really excellent source of stem cells, which are able to expand in vitro. Also, in the fat tissue, there are small capillaries, and now we are also able to isolate endothelial cells, and then analyzing the function of endothelial cells, forming capillaries, also analyzing some peptides with the pro-angiogenic activity. So this is one of the steps of the isolation of stem cells. We use collagenase that cuts the fragment of collagenase and collagen, and then we have lots of washing, and then after a few weeks we have quite pure fraction of stem cells. As I said before, we can differentiate them to different tissue, like chondrocytes, like osteocytes and adipocytes. So this is really nice clinical potential. As I said before, stem cells, they have really huge activity, clinical potential, because they have, let's say, progenic activity. They also have also immunosuppressive activity. So they also are able to modulate extracellular matrix. So we know that they have some antifibrotic effect. So when we think about the, let's say, hypertrophic scars, when we think about the keloids, when we think about the autoimmune diseases, this leads to lots of clinical applications. So now around the world, there's lots of clinical trials focusing on different applications. So we are also much interested in the molecular analyzing, like transcriptomic analyzing. We cooperate with many units here in DICE and abroad. And for example, we are interested in what kind of cascade, what kind of pathways are activated by our peptides, our growth factors. This is one of the examples, PDGF, which activates the cell side progression. Also, we are interested in the nanomedicine, nanotechnology. We have lots of cooperation with that. So one of the applications is nanoparticles that could destroy specifically tumor cells. So the idea is that we can use these nanoparticles and then use appropriate wavelength of laser to kill the tumor cells. So we cooperate with Technology University, cooperate with the Sapienza University in Roma, one of the oldest universities in the world. Also, really huge university with huge potential. And there is Professor Luciano, the CEO, who is a leader of this group, and we do really fantastic work with them. Also, we are interested in the different mechanism of action of peptides. We are very interested in regeneration process. We cooperate with Technology University to create and develop new epigenetic compounds. So we have now analyzed different epigenetic compounds like zebularin, and we proved that zebularin can activate regeneration of the skin in the mouse model. So it really was fantastic results from that. Also, we analyzed different peptides and growth factors using cells from the skin. For example, we can analyze migration of the cells in vitro. One of the challenges when we get into culture cells is age-related changes. So we know that when you culture and expand the cells from the older people, they do not divide so quick. So the proliferation of the cells is slowly. So now we're looking for a different compounds, different peptides, growth factors that could stimulate these cells to division, to the proliferation. This is really important thing because when we think about the chronic wounds, non-healing wounds, most of them are actually the older, they occur in the elderly patients. So this is for sure a challenge. We have some biomaterials from cellulose, microcellulose, also very nice biomaterials. So we're doing that. We have 3D printing, so we are able to use these biomaterials to 3D print with the cells. This is really a challenge. I'm sure you heard about 3D printing. This is quite popular method. But when you think about the cells, this is more challenging. So lots of clinical application of that. I'm not going to tell the details about it, but cartilage, skin, kidney, heart in the future maybe. A few words about the young researchers in our university, just to mention that PhD students are able to be the part of a larger project. So they are able to, for example, join the workshop for people who are taking first step in the scientific activity. Also some offer in the graphical design program, research travel grants. Also, our PhD student can be able to do that. This is one of the examples of the project focusing on oncological patients. So we developed the formulation, the new peptides for the oncological patients. This is actually for our university grant. So we can also apply to the project, to the grants in our university. So this is also possible for young researchers. Few publications connected with the regeneration of the process of the stem cells. Yes, and just at the end, a few words about our medical doctoral school. So probably you heard that we offer 4 interdisciplinary program at education for our doctoral school. And there is also a possibility to participation in scientific conference, unique training, also summer schools. So of course it's in English. That's you know that. So also we are part of bigger project like Horizon Europa. We are part of the lots of consortia. So as you probably know, when we think about the science, we are not able to do that alone. So this is important to join with other researchers, other units. So that's why we formed the consortia, Regionova, another consortium, Bionanova. Very interesting project focusing on new biomaterials. And this project was based on the Nobel Prize laureate 2018. Very important. Very, very interesting project. So just a few words about scientific student circles. So there are lots of circles for students in our university. One of them is the scientific student circle in our division of embryology. Very nice activities. So students are able to be a part of the science in our university. So I think it's really nice idea. So they cooperate with other scientific also circles. Students participate in open monthly lectures with the clinical specialists. So as you see, this is really nice idea. It can lead education activity. Also, students are involved in charity, integrate sometimes in the nature, as you can see. So it's really nice, nice thing. So thank you very much. This is my details. So you can email me if you want to. Thank you very much for attention, and of course visit us in Gdańsk. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So the audience will have the glimpse of hard science, which may become part of your life if you choose so. All right, thank you very much again. And now, every beginnings, every PhD program, every PhD project requires one to be recruited to the school. And I give you Mr. Alexander Roman, who will tell you something about the recruitment process.
Thank you very much, Professor. Yes, welcome everyone to the presentation about the recruitment process for the first doctoral school for the academic year 2024-2025. My name is Alexander Roman and I'll guide you through this process. First, let's talk about the doctoral student's office, which will be your main point of contact during the recruitment process. Our office is located just next door, it's room 25, 26 and 27. For those watching us online, we are located in Gdańsk at the 7th Street in building number 13 on the first floor. We are open Monday to Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. You can reach our office via email or by phone at numbers shown on this slide. Our office provides various services, including assistance with the recruitment process, help with document submission, and other inquiries related to the doctoral school. Feel free to reach out for any help or ask questions you might have during your application process. Now we can move to the recruitment process itself. Please note that both the education and the recruitment process at our school are conducted entirely in English. This presentation will guide you through the key dates and steps of the admission process. Let's begin with the recruitment time frame. The electronic registration runs from July 10th to July 31st. After the correct registration, you will need to submit your documents to the doctoral student's office between August 19th and 23rd, and the English language exam will take place on 3rd of September, and the interviews are scheduled from September 5th to 11th. Exact time and date will be given as soon as possible around the end of August. Finally, the results will be published on our website on or before 20th of September. Electronic registration is a three-step process. First, you need to register an account and attach a photo that meets the requirements for identity cards. Second, fill out and save the registration form. Third, you need to submit all required files. It is crucial to ensure that the forms are completed and saved. If after logging in you don't see your application form, it means that the form hasn't been completed or saved. If you want to obtain the confirmation of valid registration, please contact us via email. One important information: when the admission system is launched, which will take place on 10th of July, please remember that you need to register a new doctoral account. After creating an account, you must activate it by clicking the activation link sent to the provided email address. Sometimes it happens that the message does not come straight away, but only after some time. It is also possible that the message will end up in spam, so please check your spam box as well. Next, let's go over some common mistakes during the account registration process. First one, creating an account without completing the form. It's important to fill out all parts of the form accurately and completely. Second, failing to attach the required documents. Please make sure that all necessary documents are uploaded as part of your application. Third, submitting documents that don't contain the required signatures. Please verify that all your documents are signed where needed before uploading. Please note that not meeting the registration criteria will result in your application being rejected. If you have any questions or need confirmation that you have met all conditions, feel free to contact our office. The next step of the recruitment process is submission of documents at the doctoral student's office. As you can see on that slide, there is a list of documents you need to submit. This includes things like your application form, declarations from your scientific English language. There are two ways to demonstrate your English language proficiency for the application. First, you can take the English language exam. This exam will be conducted remotely via Moodle and Zoom platforms. It is designed to evaluate your English proficiency at the B2 level. The exam consists of 3 tasks: multiple choice questions, a gap fill exercise, and a word formation task. Other way is to submit an English language certificate that meets the requirements of our Foreign Language Study Center. To ensure that your certificate is recognized and valid according to their standards, please submit the scan of it during an online registration. Pre-qualification interviews will be conducted remotely via Zoom between September 5th to 11th. You will need a computer with camera and a microphone and a stable internet connection. Each interview will last about 15 minutes, including a 5-minute presentation of your research project. Your supervisor must be present during the interview, or an authorized deputy of the supervisor if the supervisor is unavailable. The interview will be scored out of a maximum of 50 points, broken down as follows. The scientific value of the project can earn up to 20 points. Your substantive preparation for pursuing the project can also earn you up to 20 points, and the project presentation up to 10 points. To pass the interview, you must achieve an average minimum score of 60%, so it is really important to prepare well and present your project clearly. The results of the recruitment process will be published on our website on or before 20th of September. We have a total of 24 positions available at our school this year, distributed as follows: 13 places in medical sciences, 5 in pharmaceutical sciences, and 6 in health sciences. The MAC rector holds the authority to make the decision to allocate this limit. For example, in recent years, by the rector's decision, the limit was increased by several places, financed from the Excellence Initiative Research University Program. As you can see on this slide, the recruitment process may be conducted on different dates for candidates whose doctoral scholarship will be funded fully or partially from external sources. Those candidates will be admitted regardless of the limit. For more information on the recruitment procedure beyond the limit, please contact our office. Before I express my gratitude for your attention, I want to highlight that the recruitment process I described requires finding an academic supervisor and writing a research project before the outlined time frame. Therefore, it is crucial to begin preparations as soon as you decide to apply. Now I can thank you for your attention. We wish you the best of luck with your application. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was very important and precise. So now there's a moment to present you this from the welcome point of our university to tell you about support for foreign doctoral students.
Hello, my name is Marzena and I work at Welcome Point. So if you're coming here from like a distant countries, you don't have to worry. You will be taken care of here very well. So Welcome Point is a friendly space when you can always come if you have any problems. We're located in the same building as the doctoral school, so you don't need to go far. It's 2 of us there, so we both always there to help you with your problems. Our the core of our support is it consists of 3 things. Yes, pre-arrival support, so you can always email us even if you're not here yet. So if you have any questions about the country, any fears or any problems that you would like to solve before you come, you can email us and we will email you back really quickly. Then there is the support during your stay, so we'll help you with all kind of legal matters and any other things that will be needed. And then the third one is integration. So we want you to feel here like at home. We're going to prepare, like we always prepare a lot of events which are showing Polish culture, but also sharing the culture of our other students. So we will be sending emails, mailings about all kinds of events that we have here, so you will have a chance on one hand to learn about Polish culture, but also other cultures, or you can share your culture with us. So what legal matters we're helping with? So legalization of stay, so you can make sure that if you come here, you don't have to bother with extending your visa or anything. You will come to welcome point and we'll guide you through the process of stay here, of legalization of your stay here in Poland. Then if you have any problems with understanding Polish documents, you can come with the documents to us and we will tell you what is it about. We also can help you with applying for a bank account or address registration or any other things that might be useful. Also, for example, also healthcare. So we will explain you what are your options with the healthcare, because all kinds of insurances are very important. But again, you don't have to bother. Just come to the office and we'll explain you what's the best solution for you. Also, there are other issues. You might sometimes feel unsafe, you want to talk, you need help, you have some kind of homesick. The welcome point is the place where you can always come, have a coffee, talk with us. So no matter what's happening, we'll try. If we will not be able to help you, we will find a person that will be. The other thing we do are all those events I've been talking earlier. So we are trying to integrate the whole student society at our university. We have about 1,000 English-speaking students at our university. So we really want them to be integrated with themselves, but also with the Polish division students. So we're organizing different kinds of events. Sometimes it's sports. We have like a futsal tournament or a basketball tournament, because not only science is important, but also other things too. So you need to be healthy, you need to be relaxed to work in a good way. We're also organizing coffees every month, so we're inviting students to talk about what's important for them, but also just to relax, to have coffee, to eat something good. We're also preparing the cultural days, so we had different cultures. We had Indian Day, we had African Day, so then the students are sharing their customs, their traditions, they cook food, and we are helping them organizing all those events. So you can learn about different countries, different cultures, also Polish culture, you can try Polish food, you can learn about traditions. We are also meeting in different situations. We're trying to talk about stereotypes, about how to break them. During the Christmas time, we have lots of initiatives that will also help you. If you live far away and you stay here during that time, we can help you find a family that will take you to their home to show you how Polish Christmas works, what we do that time. So we have a lot of people who are involved to that initiative. So this is the time when lots of the students are meeting people who are becoming their friends for life. We also organize the Christmas at our welcome point, so you can see what we eat, what are our traditions. So it's always time of joy and real happiness. So it's never boring here at welcome point. So if you feel that you're missing your home, or you'd like to do something else than just studying, you can come here and you will find something interesting during that time. We're also collecting gifts for the kids from our hospital, so if you want to do something for other people, you can also come here, become a Santa Claus or a good elf, and then deliver the presents to the small patients of our clinics. Thank you. That's everything from my side. You can always email us, welcome@gomet.pl, and we will answer all the questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I believe that everybody got convinced that you will be welcome here if you come. Okay, there's time for questions and answers now, but our audience are those who already answered the questions. I don't know if our online audience may send any questions. Did they?
Yes, there is questions, but we have no questions so far.
Don't have any questions. Okay then, if we don't have any questions, is there anything anybody would like to say? Not at the moment. Okay. So thank you very much for participating in this first day of our first open days of the first MUG Doctoral School. Tomorrow we have further program for all of you who are interested. Is this program somewhere posted? Yes, I think it is. Okay. So it also starts tomorrow, but at 10? At 10 o'clock. So thank you again. And this first open day is closed. Thank you very much.
No,
Tak, że jest 24 dni stąd. Na przyjęciach wspomniane, jest jakby taka możliwość zwiększenia liczby miejsc. Mam się pytać, może się zmieszczyć.
Już w tej chwili wiedzę, że rektor ma naszą pracę na przyszły rok.
No na przykład. Rozumiem, że to też fajnie. Zobaczymy, czy się spowoduje ktoś tutaj nie jest za kamerą.
Wszystko
Pani coś więcej o obszarach kredytowych i raczej tam są 3. Jest związane z biotemią, jest związane z kardiologią, a trzecie jest chyba związane z